Finally. You have no idea how long this has taken me. Okay, I need to make sure the sound is good. Test, 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 test. Okay. Wow. So usually, so now it's 10:14 p.m. Usually well, of course, also had problems with my Wi-Fi. I had to restart my computer, which is so awesome. My hot spot is the only thing that's working now, and it like won't work unless I restart my whole computer and then I have to like save everything and do all this stuff. Anyways, we're here, but yeah, I didn't even know like I was gonna do a reading. I was gonna be able to just do it. Um, I'm looking for something. Hold on. Why is it? This is weird. One sec. I think I know what's happening. Back. One sec. This is bizarre. Wait, I think I know the solution. Okay, I found it. Okay, so yes, yes, yes. This is you. Okay. Wait, why is it on me all this stuff? Not Mercury retrograde, but you think it is. Okay. All right. So let's add the last name there. A-N. Ashley, though. Okay. Anyways, Ashley, usually I have my workout, my run. I feel, and then just go straight into work. Like I just, shower and just go straight into work. But today I had like a super like I don't even know. I think I just worked out so hard on top of the workout. It was like a live concert. Like I literally like it's so hard to sing and run at the same time and kind of dance. Like I was like just seeing how it is for like Chris Brown and people like that who are just like, Michael Jackson and stuff who just like have to do all this movement while still keeping their voice. But I was doing it. It was fun, but I think I used up a ton of energy. So I've just been in the last wait, so I finished, yeah, it's been probably like 2 hours of me just like first of all, like when I stop when I'm like really into electronic music, it's like a drug. It's like with the dopamine from the running, I just can't stop listening to it. I have to like force myself to stop or I can just like get stuck in another hour set and then, just hip hop after that and then just like it just goes wild. So I've succeeded. I got the internet to work and yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna dive in. But yeah, I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to even do a reading, which is such a waste of a run because my readings are always super crisp, um, especially crisp after workouts. But yeah, anyways, okay. So so a very interesting chart indeed. Yeah, my back. First thing that stands out right off the top is Scorpio, Pluto. Um, it's a zero. Pluto's on the IC. It's 0 degrees. Oof, I have that too, but not at 0 degrees. And then the moon's in Scorpio conjunct the North Node. That's very, very, very easy for me to understand and make sense of. Probably wasn't easy for you to live it. But hey, I also have Pluto on the IC, so I can say that. But is it squaring the nodes? Probably isn't unless you're born in 1990. No, not square. Okay, no. But the sun is interesting. Esmond, I know you're just taught in a video and you're all famous now. Kind of fine. You can be here for this. Um, that's how she'll be. So basically, what that shows me, Pluto in the IC is one of the hardest placements in astrology because the IC is like the childhood. Shit, I forgot to do. The IC is like is the childhood, and any planets conjunct it speak to a theme that was present during that childhood. And I see a clear connection right off the bat here between Pluto and the IC. Yeah, it usually means like trauma, childhood trauma, which can be very subjective. But often it comes from the parents or just like some circumstance early on, right? That was just like a very volcanic household. And I see you have your sun exactly squaring your moon, so I would bet money on parents divorce because I have the same thing, and I've seen this so many times. But like when you have like the sun square moon and Pluto on the IC, it's like for sure. Now the interesting part and what is kind of nice to hear is that it's all part of the journey. It was all it's all fated. It's all shown in the chart. Um, and basically, as a Scorpio moon, which you have exactly what my favorite, uh, rapper, favorite artist ever besides Armin van Buuren, XXX Tentacion was a Aquarius Sun Scorpio moon, just like you. So you share the same sun and moon as who I consider the best American artist ever. Who his career cut short after only like a few years, but to me, he was the best. That's just my opinion. Um, at least like in the world of like hip hop, he's my number one. Although I don't know, I do like 57 a lot in the game and Wayne. But yeah, X is still number one. It's tough though. It's tough, 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 tough. I love Chris Brown too. He's not really a rapper, but black people, I guess, black fucking artists. But Eminem would count in that category, but he wasn't that on that level, in my opinion. I mean, he was that good, but he's not in my top five. Jay-Z, old Jay-Z would probably make it there. And Notorious B.I.G. And you are experiencing Pisces right now, so Bear with me. I go on tangents sometimes. But anyways, quick little detour. Back to the most important part, your chart. Why we're here. So basically, Pluto in this position speaks to that. I'm not gonna like, try to guess what themes came up or what happened or this or that. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's like because Pluto is squaring, oh shit, Mars. Ooh, I was hoping not. So yeah, I mean, like honestly, the archetype there, that could be some type of like trauma to the body. It could be sexual trauma. Um, it could be just really feeling physically like some like getting beaten, like stuff like that, like like abused physically. Um, and what's interesting is that your moon is in Scorpio. So, and it's conjunct your north node. That's what's super interesting about this chart. So all of this was meant to happen because basically, okay, check this out. So I love when charts connect like from the first like second. Like I just looked and I was like connections, connections, connections. Now I just have to like put it into words. I wish I could just transmute the code like one day. That'd be cool. But it's abstract. And that's the art of astrology. Is how do I explain what's in here with this? So okay. So your north node in astrology represents south node, north node. Let's start from there. Let's share the screen too, so you can see what I'm talking about. I wanted to change the colors in this room too. So I'm gonna do that right now while I'm talking. So you see that, I guess I should probably point out, but like next to your Scorpio moon, right down there. Such a head rush from standing. Next to the Scorpio moon, there is that horseshoe that's forward. That is your north node, and it represents kind of where your soul is trying to get to in this lifetime, right? So the opposite, if you look exactly opposite of that, you'll see the south node. Oh, I like that. I like that gold, double gold. Um, oh, this one's more like yellow, but whatever. You can see. I like that vibe. I just been in the blue zone for too long. Now I'm in the gold zone / yellow sprite zone because they're two different lights. One of them is used to be a cool color and then kind of shifted. Anyways, whatever. So here down here is the moon in Scorpio conjunct north node in Scorpio. Very, very significant. Why? Well, Pluto is the sign that rules Scorpio. So Pluto, your IC, your childhood, all that trauma, square Mars, everything that happened, whatever it was, um, it was meant in a really weird way to put you into your highest purpose because your South Node in Taurus um, basically means that in past lives you've had an issue when it comes to taking risks with getting down to your subconscious, like real darkness, like it's like really like doing shadow work. You've been very much in the Venusian happiness realms. Palace conjunct South Node. You've been a genius of sorts. It's in the ninth house also, so that kind of speaks to like the philosopher, but the person who was very successful in different arenas of intellectual different intellectual arenas, but because of that success and because of that beauty and because things are probably quite nice, there's been a lot of that stability that you've created in past lives. So it's almost like a power you have even without let me double check before I say that. Well, you have Virgo rising, so let's not act like you have no Earth. You have Earth, but you're not like a Earth heavy chart. Your chart has an ascendant in Virgo, which is Earth. So you have Earth, but and it does trine your south node. Um, but basically, like, there's a tendency for you to be more, let's just call it in the here and now, everything's all good, you know, but because everything's so all good, like imagine the person who just like has a very beautiful life. They live like, let's say in Costa Rica. They grew up next to their family. It's all beautiful. They're with the land, they're with the ocean, they're just living that kind of pleasant, very earthly life, and in the South Node in ninth house, it would indicate that that's happened in like many different cultures, right? So you have this like natural affinity for different cultures. So, traveling for you might be like a very karmic experience where you might like go somewhere and be like, I feel like I've been here before, and maybe even decide to move. Potentially it might just come naturally to you, but the goal in this life, right, is to be a witch. I was going to say something different, and then I saw that you have Black Moon Lilith on the midheaven, exact degree in Gemini. I'm like, whoa, shit. And that correlates perfectly with this. So basically, okay, if I was to give you a reading in 15 seconds, I'd say meant to go through crazy fucking shit in childhood, but super, super resilient, like really, really deep shadow work early on, forced upon her, unfortunately. But, because of Scorpio moon, there's that emotional intensity, and there's that real ability to understand, to heal thyself, right? And it probably took, it's probably been hard, right? And there's probably been lots of questions like, why is this fucking shit happening? Why, like, I'd imagine, and it could, because the Scorpio moon is so sensitive, like the Pluto, I see it, because Jupiter's there too, and Venus are in the fourth house. So it's like, it's not speaking of like a childhood that was completely fucked. There's definitely some beauty, like, the two best planets are there. So it's like there's something maybe fucked up that happened, but overall there's lots of expansion and lots of beauty that came, and it comes from your home life, right? So it's very, like, we have to talk about, make sure you remind me in the follow-up to kind of examine that fourth house, because there's different messages here, right? When you have like one really difficult placement and then two that are way easier, but you see that the really difficult one is right on the IC, while Jupiter is still 7 degrees away from it, which is, it's close enough for conjunction. um like, what that's going to do is that's going to give like a mix of good and bad, and it could have just been like one isolated event, or it could have just been like one part of the childhood, maybe like an early part that then got resolved, but then through all of it you were able to still have this very large, because like you see your Jupiter's on the royal star Antares, and you've got two royal stars, my friend. You have Jupiter on Antares at 9 Sag, and you've got a Regulus Mars. So you are royal, like myself. I have two of the royals on one. I have a Regulus rising and Fomalhaut on my descendant. Which you also have Fomalhaut on your descendant. Holy fuck! You have three royal of the four royal stars. All you need is Gemini 9 degrees. Nope. Wow. So already this is like a chart of someone that could be famous right off the bat. No fucking lies. And how many times have I said that? If I was like a podcast, me doing readings was like a podcast, like Joe Rogan has that guy that he like fact checks. And like, how many times have I said that? They'd say maybe 3 times of 1,000 readings plus. Yeah, that's some fame shit. So but the big question is how you responded to it, because with the moon in Scorpio, the mother is often quite interfering. Now it's square Uranus, so that is going to give, and you are an Aquarius. So that's gonna really give like an emotional nature that's very, very independent, very rebellious, very like I could see you being the kind of kid that would like run away from home, you know? Like just super unpredictable and just who doesn't give a fuck. Like just zero fucks given. About like what other people think of you and very liberated soul, you know, and a soul that's seeking this deep liberation. But then they're like, God damn it, like what, like you know, there's this thing, this like it's almost like you're trying to expand, expand, expand. But look, okay, so here going back to what I was saying in the 15 seconds of like of your chart, it's like went through fucked up shit, has all these royal stars, you know, potentials for like real fame and in you know in different endeavors. But then there, you know, and that does come easy. The arts come very easy to this person, right? Very creative. You know, like I said, X is a freaking, you know, the same thing as you. Like that's one of the most creative people I've ever seen existing. Um, and you know, I know other people with the same with that sun square moon. You know, so sun square moon, it makes someone very very like they have this big challenge. Like I have it. You know, I'm a Pisces Sag. It's like a chip on your shoulder. I have Pluto I see like you know, so you probably resonate a lot with me. That's probably why you got this reading because you're born 95. So whenever I have and once again, if I had my fact checker here, I'd be like, hey, fact checker, of the kids born or of the people who get readings from me born after, let's call it 95 or 94 is the cutoff. So I'm born in 90. What sign are they nearly every single time? Sun sign. Aquarius. I'm telling you, Aquarius. Like I could literally like look back on all my readings if I did and see that it would probably be like close to like fuck at least 80%, to be honest. Like at least maybe 90. Honestly, it's like every single time. Let's call it 85. Anyways, doesn't matter. But it's just to show that like, you know, you Aquarius are ahead of your time. You know, you guys are ahead of your time and you guys are entering the age of Aquarius, you know, where by the way, if you know, unless like finances are an issue or whatnot, like the continuous order of what happens with me is that you get this reading, you get the follow up, and then nearly everyone gets the what I call current astrology slash spiritual alignment. I just add the second part to that because it's more than just current astrology, and that's like a 2 hour extension of the 1 hour follow up. So it's like it becomes like around a 3 hour reading on Zoom where I tell you about all your transits, everything happening with you right now, year ahead, through like transits, solar arcs, progressions, solar return chart, everything. You know, I know all these techniques, these predictive techniques, and like you know what, like I used to like kind of like just say because I think I'm the best at birth charts. Um, and like I would take anyone on besides maybe Lotta. Um, I would gladly accept a challenge from any astrologer in birth charts, but I'm thinking I'm getting there with current astrology too. I'm not gonna say I just haven't seen enough current astrology readings from other people, but like they're getting so accurate that I'm like I'm getting people hitting me up like the other day. A few people hit me up from like years ago who were like, yeah, like everything you said like was like so much help, like especially with this guy, like this girl who like had this huge thing with this guy, and I showed her all the astrology and you know, she ended up doing a compatibility reading with that, and we basically got it all sorted. And it kind of, she like literally told me, she's like, you literally saved me like 2 years of my life because everything you said about him and me was correct. And he ended up like, I forget the whole story, but like, you know, she basically just like dodged a real fucking bullet there. But yeah. So usually it's 380, but for you it'd be 250 to add that. So you just have to let me know. And then once you receive this, we schedule a date and time, you know, in the next few weeks. Honestly, it's like it's not so booked. It's not like a long wait like this, you know, it's like a live reading. So yeah. But anyways, back to the reading. So yeah, like that's kind of but basically like the second part of that 15 seconds is like going through all that stuff, you know, like a really big difference between the mother and father. And this is not 15 seconds because it's a few minute version. You know, between mother and father, like real different messages that they're getting from each one. Um, but at the same time, the reason for all that is shown by the fact that this north node, which is your highest destiny, which is where you're trying to get in this life, what you haven't done in past life. So you've been in that like Madagascar, just like chilling, like real peace energy and karmically. And now, you know, your sun is in, of course, the sun's squaring the nodes. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but um, now you're being challenged in this life, and you're to like you've been pushed into darkness, but that is actually your life purpose, right? So I know that sounds like a lot of weight, but Scorpio is about death, rebirth, transformation. But so for you, like imagine like the karma being very, very in like the peace, but not enough in your own darkness, not enough healing, right? Um, like if you live a life like that Costa Rica example I gave you, like you're not really gonna be challenged much, like if everything's all chill, you're not gonna like it's like the people who do yoga all the time who are always feeling good. Nothing against that power to them. It's so much better than it's if that's their path, that's their path. I'm just using this as an example to say that if you're always feeling so good physically, you don't. And I even can now that I don't really drink that like very very rarely, but I'm kind of like this a little bit, not really because I have like Pisces mood disorder, whatever, but I don't know the actual disorder, but basically. Um, but like, when I go to music festivals during the summer, a huge electronic music fan, I usually get pretty fucked up and for 4 days, and like by the end, I feel that feeling, like I'm just like, oh my God, like, and you really feel what it feels like to feel like shit all the time, and then all this shadow stuff comes up. I'm like, I don't even think about that. Is this even real? And it's like yes, but also no, because like at a certain vibrate, it's about awareness and it's about healing. And how do you heal something? Well, a lot of times the only way to heal something, if you've been in this tendency of being very, very good at avoiding it, avoiding taking risks with yourself, emotionally and spiritually, is to have a very, and this is a very evolved soul. You are, because only an evolved soul would take on a karma like this. That's so intense, early in life. Um, but the point of it is that because you experienced that, it made you so resilient and it's made you so strong. And as you head into your Saturn return, here in not too long, honestly, very very soon. So I would actually, that's actually something that so I would only add like $15, 360 or 265 to do the reading, and also do a Saturn return reading for you. So because there's like a chart you can make for the Saturn return, and to get you prepped for that too, because that's coming. Saturn moves into Pisces. Your Saturn is 10 Pisces, so really like it moves in like what, like a few weeks into Pisces. So your return would pretty much be started like very very soon. But you have a little bit of time to prep. But when it moves into that sign, like you really start to feel it. You really start to feel like the even the sign before, it's that Sati starts around 27, and it goes until Saturn would leave Aries, which I don't know what year that is. Um, what if I know? It would be like a long time, because it enters Aries in 2026. I think your Saturn return would probably be 2024, but maybe potentially even starting this year though. Honestly, I don't have like all the ephemeris in front of me. Probably start this year at some point, and then kind of retrograde, and then go back, and then fully be in it next year. But or like yeah, not like maybe like I could totally calculate this, but yeah, but like if you want to get that reading, let me know. But anyways, yeah, it's just like I'll just add $15 to the total of the 250. Even though it should be more, but whatever. Fuck it. Um, so yeah, the point is that because of all this, a Scorpio North Node person is meant to face their shadow. They are meant to go through these really intense experiences that force change, that force them to look to experience the darker side of reality, so that they can then heal their darker parts of themselves, so that they can go through that phoenix being reborn and become this strong, resilient, savage, of a beast that cannot be fucked with or pushed over on their path to whatever, their dharma is. Which in your case, with midheaven, with Black Moon Lilith on there, in Gemini, that's like mad. Black Moon Lilith is a witch energy, right? So on the midheaven, like you could be meant to be doing something really similar to me, but maybe your own lane of it. And as we enter this age of Aquarius, where astrology and things like this, by your generation is a lot more accepted, right? And by my generation is a lot more accepted. Or maybe I kind of resonate more with like your generation, like Pluto. You still have Pluto in Scorpio, so whatever. But no, you're Pluto and Sag, 0 degrees. Yeah, I kind of resonate more with that generation. Like my girlfriend, she's born in 2000. Um, I have but like I don't know. I have friends that are of every age between like, yeah, I don't know, whatever, fuck it. So yeah, so basically you were meant to really, really experience that, and it's interesting too because Chiron is in is your where there's suffering, and it's in the first house in Virgo, which is your ascendant. And basically, to me, that's in your moon's in the third house of Gemini, house of finding your voice. So there's also this element of like being pushed down, um, and you having to emerge from the phoenix and find your authentic voice throughout that. Find the strength to be strong. It's a great fucking line there. Find the strength and resilience to find that authentic voice, whether it's through creativity, whether it's through your work, your service to other people with the sun in the sixth house, right? Um, and but like Chiron and Virgo people, they a lot of times were kind of shut down at an early age. Like their voice doesn't matter, kind of vibes, right? Like, and they start to doubt their thought processes, the thought process, and they start to doubt. They can have like real perfectionist issues. I'm never good enough, especially with Moon and Scorpio. Could be a mother that was very like demanding, very very controlling, and it's square Uranus. So then that can make someone who emotionally can be quite unstable and really swing back and forth between, especially the Scorpio Moon. It could be like a very definitely like bipolar potential, right? And when I say bipolar potential, I'm not diagnosing that. I'm saying that like that would be like if someone asked me like what would like someone with bipolar like what would the chart look like? Well, of course I would say Gemini Moon um would be like like more difficult, but like or even like borderline, right? Like can show up with Scorpio moons. But the Uranus nature can just really make that intensity just like swing back and forth. Now, the fact that Pluto is square Mars is a really big one, right? Because Mars is in Leo and Regulus. So the thing with Regulus is that it's the royal star, it's the king, it's the shining one, but it's in the 12th house, so it's hidden. So it's like you could be this major talented person, but it might be a more hidden kind of talent that maybe it's hard for you to really show that to the world, right? Um, to fully let it go, fully let it out, right? Um, hold up one second. I want to load the Regulus thing on my phone. What it says about Regulus Mars. But yeah, it says honor, fame, strong character, public prominence. Yeah. And it's so close. It says this, it's within point 30. So it says, this is one who takes command and gives orders. These people work well in the military and can achieve high goals and honors here, or just anything physical, or just anything business, right? I mean, I'm kind of like, like for example, Henry Ford had this 0.0 exact, right? Caitlyn Jenner has it. Ronaldinho, football player. Donald Trump has it, right? Ariana Grande, Princess Diana. See, it's powerful as fuck. Um, and yeah, so it's that close. So this one, yeah. The commanding personality extends even to their love life, since everyone is merely a stepping stone for their pleasures and egos. So this is another thing of your chart that's very interesting, is that with Black and Lilith where it is, that's kind of the darker tendency. There could be you at your lowest vibration. There could be issues of power struggle, where you might if like unless you like get past like unless you really truly do the shadow work and truly do the work to find that internal power, like having like a creative outlet, for example, where like through your music or through your poetry, through your writing, or through whatever work you do that really has true meaning to you. It can't have any of that BS meaning. There could you're such a strong person that there can be this kind of like overbearing energy, right? Especially like when it comes to getting ahead in life, that you might step over other people on your goals to achieve that. And with Gemini being Black and Lilith, it could be like, for example, your lowest vibration could be someone who lies and cheats, and is two-faced. And I don't think you are that way. I'm just saying that's the potential there. But like it extends to this insane motivation to succeed, which comes from this this chip on your shoulder you get from childhood shit, right? So when you resolve the childhood shit and you go into it and you realize, okay, this is all what God wanted, this is all fated, this is all meant to be, in the sense that I like was meant to experience this darkness, and also like yeah, experience this darkness in order for my soul to learn some very important lessons about being, that can make me a better healer. The highest energy of that Black and Lilith on the MC is a very versatile Gemini, versatile, someone who can switch careers up, wear many different hats, right? A type of healer, right? Someone who has healing powers, maybe even a Reiki, because Gemini rules the hands. Maybe you're meant to be someone who, maybe you have very healing hands, right? So yeah. But definitely like, your daily kind of procedures are not meant to, they are very highlighted here. So with the sun, the sixth, that's, a lot of people who have sun, the sixth can be like people who like have like very high positions in like in companies, and they do fine working for other people. But using Aquarius, that's not really your vibe, and with Mars square Pluto at 0 degrees Pluto, right? Mars 29 degrees, right? So it's like the energy there is really karmic. And what can happen is that there can be blowups, right? There can be these insane blowups, where if the shadow isn't integrated, and if you don't have like a physical, you know like if you don't have like it's basically like, of all the most volcanic things in a chart, Pluto square Mars, that's like the top. So it's like like people who have that, like they will fucking like go crazy and like hit off at other people, especially the Scorpio moon, you know? Like, so it's like something can trigger you very easily. And if you're not like hyper aware of your unconscious, and like what like your childhood and all the stuff that happened with the Pluto and the IC, then you can hit off on people in a way that's like very volcanic, and it can ruin relationships, it can ruin friendships, it can have a very detrimental effect. So yeah, basically like anyone who has that placement like has to work out. They have to have some physical outlet, whether it's running, whether it's weightlifting, whether it's karate, I don't give a fuck what it is, whatever it is. If you don't, like, a lot of people have that, they just smoke a bunch of weed, or they just do something like that numbs the pain, or that numbs the anger, because they feel it so intensely, and they start relying on substances because they don't have that healthy outlet. In one quick second. Yeah. Um, Speaking of that, can I smoke? Yeah. Like literally, like example right here. Aries moon can't deal with her anger, doesn't work out. Just joking, but it's true. Yeah. If you worked out every day, you wouldn't need to smoke. It's not about me. Yeah, deflecting. You see. Yeah. This is a Scorpio sun, so Aries moon. So it's similar but different. You have the same chart as X. Remember that. So um, that's like extremely important. If you listen to his music, it could be very good for you. Um, any artist that you resonate with that has like a similar sun and same sun and moon as you, can be like really healing, and X's music is extremely like, dark but very healing also at the same time. So I would check him out if you don't know who XXXTentacion is, but he's unfortunately dead. So anyways, I haven't talked about your Virgo rising yet, don't worry. But yeah, like basically you need to fucking work out. And by working out, that's allowing, and this is another huge thing that not many astrologers know, if any, well, very few. And I have a tattoo of Regulus, I'm Regulus rising. Yeah, that's how, popping Regulus is. But like you need to not feed that ego. Like you need to like understand that people will be jealous of you when you start to really, really shine, if that's happened already, right? And you've worked your ass off, right? You need to give yourself credit for that too. But like the thing with Regulus, and the reason I have this tattoo when my Regulus isn't even as close as yours, right? And your Mars is retrograde, which is crazy. That's crazy. So that's actually somewhat helpful in this sense, right? Because it shows that in past lives you either used or misused your Mars function, which is like you, and in this case, you either did too much or you did too little. And for me, I'm thinking, and I think that in this case, in the 12th house, Mars is kind of in trouble there. So, you could have misused your powers or underused them. And in this life, it actually can take a while before those powers are unleashed. Yeah, so a lot of the rage can be internalized. So finding a way to get that out is so important, but it's also, I guess, advantageous in the sense that retrograde Mars in this position would be less likely to hit off in that really explosive volcanic way externally towards others, but they might do it to themselves. So there could be like self-harm type stuff, or just really like doing stuff to self-abuse, right? Mars in the 12th. So finding spirituality, finding the occult, things like this, is super empowering. Now on that point, the Virgo rising is interesting because it gives you a sense it links with your sun, the 6th house, the house of Virgo. So, and your Mercury's there too. So you're definitely a thinker, and I think that your Chiron there also speaks to like, I see so many Aquarius Mercury's Aquarian people who have Chiron in like Gemini or Virgo, and it's like, because you're so ahead of your time in terms of your thoughts and your ideas and things you want to talk about and the way your brain works, and you're very inventive, kind of creative. Not everyone's like that. And it can make, if you have like very traditional upbringing, like it can kind of like push people that tell you like, oh, that's stupid, you might have like a genius idea, and then you internalize that. So that's part of the healing too. But yeah, really, it's like I think through writing, like writing could be amazing for you. Anything that involves your voice, or like the 3rd house, writing your voice, that type of energy, and then that goes directly to your career with your Gemini North midheaven, right? So yeah, another thing is to make sure that you are a good listener, and that you take things in, and that you're not too rebellious, and that you're not too like I know it all, and that you're really like curious about different people, like you are about me, about my opinion of you, right? But just like like also at the same time not giving a fuck about like what dumbasses think, but like you know, um, like just really, really hearing out. It's like a merging of the higher and the lower mind, like kind of the lower mind being like the journalist part of you that goes out and gets information, but um the higher mind being the part that ties it all together. So yeah. But yeah, with the Virgo rising, they are very organized. They are, but not always. Sometimes Virgo rising is like, they'll be like very good at like, oh, like picking out like, oh, like, oh, that thing. They go to their friend's house. Oh, this is dirty. Like, oh, I see that little thing on your shirt. And then you go to their house. Their room's a fucking mess. So it's like sometimes can be very easy to fucking call out other people's shit. But like, I would guess that that you're quite organized as a human, but like not for sure. Aquarius can be all over the place. Also, a potential is that you moved around a lot as a kid. That's a potential. Maybe like your parents got divorced and moved to different cities. That happened to me. Or maybe you had a mother or whoever the moon is, usually it's the mother, the least dominant parent that was very fleeting. But there's definitely one parent that it's the son, so it's usually the father, that there's lots of fucked up karma with, right? They're like fucked up, maybe the wrong word. There's just like a karmic imbalance with that parent. Wait, is it raining for once? 1 second. It is raining. Usually don't get rain here. It's snow a lot. So, okay. Oh, it's exactly right. It was 147. Exactly. So the sun is as a skip step indicates that essential part of the current life energy and purpose is to resolve the issues symbolized by the square of the nodal axis through house and sign and through the node it resolves through. This placement indicates that the current life is a critical one for the resolution of the unresolved material. The material is experienced in this life as part of the core nature of the individuality and sense of personal meaning. This placement has echoes of the symbolism of the hero's journey, Joseph Campbell, um, who wrote, talked about the hero's journey, and can involve the individual having to create or maintain a personal vision in isolation or in conflict with others around them in their life. As such, it represents a challenge to individuate, which is interesting because your sun sign is in the sign of individualization, Aquarius. So it's like really about creating your own line, your own lane. But then also a sun square south node could be like that. There's like, difficult karma with the parents. Now, which node would have hit your sun before you're born? That's the question everyone's asking. It would have been because they go in opposite directions. So it would have been the south node, right? Because no, because they go like this. So the north node would have been the one that hit it last. So yeah, the healing is through Scorpio once again. So it's through that kind of future oriented, like your free will ability to just like do shadow work and to really feel that the emotions, feel the pain, not run away from it, face it. Rumi said the fear of the fear is more powerful than the fear itself. Whatever links you need to go to heal whatever is there, right? Okay. So yeah, the Virgo, I think it will make one a little bit more cautious, very observant, very keen to kind of see all the little things, understand the steps it takes to get from point A to point B, which is another big indicator of your success. Virgo risings are typically quite successful people, but they can also be very critical of themselves, and have like higher than anything like expectations. So that is a thing for you, especially with the sun square moon, is like, you might literally just be like you might be like me, like where you're like, um, you know, if I don't achieve goals that maybe like one billionth of the world, or like one like that are so unique, like my ideal goals, if I don't achieve them, I'll be very unhappy, right? That's a really dangerous thought because God will always throw things in our way, right? In life. And in this energy that I'm feeling with you now is like, it's kind of, I kind of understand it a lot, right? Because it's like, you want to get ahead, you want to leave the past behind, but then you also feel like there's this thing and you can move away. And I live in Romania. I didn't move away. I don't have like a fucked up family situation like that. For me, it's completely different because I have the node square Pluto. So I actually came into this life with past life trauma that I entered the life with trauma. It's fucked up, I know. But so it's different. So I don't really have like trauma per se from my childhood. But I did have like a divorce and stuff like that. But yeah. Um Shit, what just happened? Yeah, it's really important to just not be too hard on yourself and not be overly critical, and to just like accept the things that this whatever the serenity prayer is, like have the power to accept the things that I cannot change and the power to change the things that I can. Is that what it is? I fucking forget. Um, I think it's that. I think I worded serenity to accept the things that cannot change and the power to change the things I can. Some shit like that. If that's the remix, that's the remix. Whatever. So yeah, it's basically just like accepting that there is fate, there is things that you can't change from the past, but they're all part of your journey that got you to where you are now and where you're headed, and that yeah, like you have so much life ahead, and you like this is usually the kind of tribe you're reading for someone born in 88 or 87, 86. So you're 95, you're like very, very ahead, and that just speaks to that maturity and that how those early events really made you grow up fast. Now, when you have someone who's pushed to grow up fast, they sometimes lack this childishness. So with your Leo Mars in 12th, it's very important for you to not be your worst enemy and for you to find inner child self-healing. So do things that are creative, right? Because you might be supremely creative. And do things that are fun. Like I just fucking like went on a run. I listened to like a long, like I woke up, felt like shit. I didn't give a fuck. I just like I'm just like I woke up, felt like shit, didn't give a fuck. Had two coffees. I mean, literally, like I don't care what it takes to get to where I need to get. Like not in a ruthless way, but it's like woke up, had my coffee by my bed because that's how I fucking roll. Super late because don't take this. Don't take this advice. I'm not the role model right now in this part of my life. This is very, 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 very specific to me and my human design. I'm someone who is a creature of the night. Um, and it's not like great. And it's also just a phase. I've never been this crazy, but chug the coffee, went and got another coffee. I had like the machine here and stuff. Um, and just got right on the treadmill and just started running, put on some, some electronic set, really, really vocal one. And I was just like singing the whole time. Literally, like I didn't even plan it. I just was like singing the whole time, almost like trying to see like how it is. I already fucking told you this shit, Jesus Christ. But the point is that like that is me having fun. And after that, I posted that real, like I don't plan this stuff. I just like I don't know. I just was like love it. Like just picked up Esme, my cat, and just like started dancing with her and just posted it because I don't give a fuck. And that's kind of vibe that you can have too. It's like it's fun. It's fun to just like have like creative fun ways to just have fun. It doesn't have to always be getting fucked up and stuff. Which is what I used to do a lot. Um, so yeah, finding your purpose is a huge thing for you, right? And you're an Aquarius, so you're here to be of service. You're here, like it really feels good when you're giving back to humanity in some way. Sixth house sun would really make your day-to-day routine and your health, like you could be like a doctor of sorts, someone who cares, pets. I guarantee I'm 1,000% sure you love cats, or at least Aquarius, you can't be 1,000% sure about anything. But I looked up at my TV, which just has like the YouTube on, and there's a thing that says cat music. So I don't know, it's a sign from God. But either way, you're ultra creative. That's shown also by that Jupiter Venus conjunction. That's a beautiful conjunction to have in the fourth house because even if the early childhood life was difficult, you will have like an amazing, like 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 family life, right? Like once you're married and all that stuff, right? It's really going to be amazing. And also that conjunction makes one quite popular and very, very, very creative. And in Sag, Venus, you love to travel, so that thing I said earlier about traveling, Sag, Jupiter, and you love to teach, right? So this is kind of all coming together. You see, in the part of Fortune conjunct Jupiter, so on Antares. So it's like, you're very, very militant in a sense, in the good way, right? Um, you definitely have this like very masculine edge to you, and the ability to really just go deep. And having Jupiter with Antares, is really, really good for religious zeal, or or spiritual slash religious zeal, real or pretended. Um, it can make one a little bit hypocritical, but they can really benefit through relatives. They can be, but also like really, really mentally alert, very strategic, with your ability to kind of like create plans, like kind of chess, um, and a lot of courage. Like, so this is like the daredevil, like Antares is the daredevil, right? It makes daredevil. It's like the courage to stand out and to make daredevils, to do the thing and to speak about the thing that no one else is speaking about, right? So, um, yeah, and to have Venus there conjunct Juno. Look at that. What does that even say? Do I even give me anything about that? Yeah, super feminine combination, whether blah 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 blah. Indicates a love of woman, regardless of whether it's a man or not, like in a sexual way necessarily. Um, yeah, just like voluptuous, feminine, and feisty. Um, you're likely to love passionately and earnestly. Woman love can't be reasonable, or she probably won't be in love. This is true for both men and women. You nurture your relationships with people and possibly also with money. Those around you know that you have an impact wherever you go. Relationships are likely to be a priority in your life. So that's like a very beautiful one, because it's like, what you like. I would guess that you'd probably like get married to someone that's from a different culture than you. That'd be my guess. Um, but it's not for sure. It could also just be someone who, you need that adventure partner, that person who also has that higher vision for life, who's very like kind of open and Sagittarian, right? In that sense. And your Mars and Leo is also, you need someone who's playful, and then with the moon and Scorpio, you need someone who understands that you're going to be going, that you're someone who's very deep and very, very, you're a healer, but you're also, you have wounds, and the wounds can show up at random times. And they need to be able to, like, Scorpio moons need, like, they prefer with friends also to have, like, a few like BFFs. Like, it's very hard for them to trust a lot of times, right? So, like, the low vibe Scorpio energy, it's like, like the manipulation, because there's such a fear of abandonment that they project that onto partners a lot. And you do have Saturn on your descendant, which is difficult for relationships, until your Saturn returns. So that's actually going to be better for you going forward. I could feel you being like, thank fucking God. But overall, like, you really seek a partner that wants to, like, at the same time have that, like, that family vibes with. You want to have that like family kind of energy with them, but also travel, like expand, like be able to like really have these like thought-provoking conversations, and someone who can really teach you things and who you can teach things, like that's what you want. You need someone who's open-minded, who has intellectual flexibility. Now, and then who can also handle you at your worst, who can handle you in your different moods and your different vibes, your different versions of you, at different periods of your life, right? Because Scorpio moon will be very sensitive to the energies. So yeah, that's why it's important. It could be very, very, very healing for you to learn astrology. I teach it one on one, by the way, also. Um, and learning astrology is really, really appealing, because it just shows, it can really kind of, it can teach you about how energy works, and about how, for example, like when you learn to like understand your own transits, even like the mini daily ones, like you can be like, okay, like I'm like, I have, let's say, Mars is like going to be, or let's say, like, transit Pluto is going to be, or transit Pluto is going to be squaring your moon, right? You'd understand, like, okay, well, fuck, like, which is actually gonna fucking happen. Wait, no, 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 hold up. Yeah, that's literally, I made that up, and that's actually happening, like, 2024, and just like to feel it next year, this year even. Wow, I just literally made that up, and it's actually happening. It's fucking wild. You definitely should get a current astrology reading. Like, what the fuck? And oh my god, and Pluto's gonna be on your fucking sun. Woo! God damn, girl, your life is gonna change like crazy. This is the time. These years are gonna be intense, but like, you've been through it already, so like you get it. It's not like someone who's just been, silver spoon, golden spoon their whole life, and just like, can't face adversity. So I think it's like a powerful transformation. Phoenix Rising type period. Or as my fake impersonator accounts say, they say Grand Rising. Fucking, what the fuck does that even mean? Um. Anyways, I don't even speak like that. Like, at least use words I use. I actually don't, because yeah. But hopefully I have a blue check very soon. I'm in the process of that. So I hope to have that by summer. But there's things you have to do, and it's complicated, but I'm gonna get it done. Because like you, when I decide something, it happens. And you have to remember that you're very, very powerful. But that your emotions sometimes can get the best of you. So you really, part of your life goal with the sixth house sun is to find that balance. And with rebelliousness, it's good to be different, it's good to be rebel, but not rebel to a point to where like you're just saying no to anything, right? But yeah, you are meant to take a path that's less traveled. Okay, so now with Uranus and Neptune the fifth, that's very easy for me, right? It's like on one hand, it's like you have very very unique and creative hobbies, or very 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 like you can create through your intuition, and your hobbies will be very unique. Um, you might have some confusion around matters of love. Um, you could have children that are very very spiritual and very very unique themselves, right? And very genius with Uranus. And you when you get in your creative zone, which your vertex there too is also like saying how like love and being in touch with your inner child is your kind of like your doorway to higher awareness. But also the fifth house with Capricorn, I always think of that as like the person who can transform what they do for fun into their work. So that's like a big goal, right? Is to be able to do that. And with the sixth house sun, you're very in the Virgo rising. It's very possible that you know but when you do that inner child work, or if you've done it, and you like, for me, like finding astrology, for example, like that was me just curiosity, just like just allowing all that energy to fall away of like what other people might think of it, and just not giving a fuck. But also I was in a favorable environment for doing that. I was at like a hippie school in Colorado. So like I was around other spiritual people. So like you kind of have to like take risks and put yourself in those situations. The school was called Naropa. It was cool. I mean, it was very good for that time for me. But I'm very happy to be out of Boulder now. But it's very necessary. It's like kind of like a hub when it comes to like, especially the undergrads. But lots of kind of, yeah, interesting people you meet there. For sure. It's like if you're looking for like I guess you're already past college, but yeah, they have graduate. I did the graduate program. But anyways, so yeah, so that's kind of the vibe with that whole part of the chart. You can really really like once you get creating, it can really become something like that, like where you're just getting downloads through your creativity. And um also you got to watch out for sex, like don't like, make sure to wear protection. And don't let yourself go in that area, because you're very sexual as a Scorpio moon. um Aquarius sometimes can just not give a fuck and be aloof and just be like, I'm just gonna do what the fuck I want. And there's just potential for like, you just want, it's not in your chart. I'm just saying you want to avoid a pregnancy you don't want. You want to avoid you know uh and with Neptune there also, there can be definitely possibilities for like these like instant infatuations that where you think like, oh my god, it's love, it's love, it's love, but then it's not. Which leads me to your Saturn on the descendant. Well, first of all, let's speak about fucking Fomalhaut on an Ascendant, which I have as well. This is what we both share. So, um, basically, it's more about your creativity. You have divine inspiration, divine imagination, inspiration that you can contact, but it's like a muscle, like everything else. You have to work out. Um, and with your series in the 12th house, in Leo, it's like there is an emotional, you feel emotionally nurtured by, getting deeper into spirituality, into the unknown realms, but also by being in your inner child, so like by fun, you feel nurtured through fun, through just like fun, childish, like being a kid. Um, yeah, so okay. So yeah, Saturn there, you definitely are gonna feel restricted or have felt restricted when it comes to love. It's very, very karmic to have Saturn and Pisces. It's very, very karmic, spiritually karmic. There can be fears of spirituality, fears of diving deep into that. But when it comes to relationships, it can be fears of vulnerability, fear of being hurt, fear of feeling seen. And it can kind of just make it so the real most important relationships for you are restricted until later, which is very difficult when you have an unaspected Venus. Because unaspected Venus, as I said, with your Juno, besides your conjunction with Juno, which makes it even more. Yeah, it conjuncts Jupiter, but very, it's 8 degrees. It's kind of like, but like that's someone who like really, really is can be like obsessed with relationships, and they can literally like judge their life like based on wait, how the fuck is it unaspected over here when it's literally aspected? Like, what the fuck is wrong with my program? It's literally sextile Mercury. Like, what? It's not unaspected. It doesn't show it. It's a 3 degree orb, 3.5. Come on, that's crazy. But that's a really good aspect. But what I was gonna say doesn't really resonate as much. But like with the conjunction with Juno, it does, which is we're like, yeah, very relationship oriented and really, really wanting that. But you might have to travel to get it. Leave your comfort zone, like accept change, embrace the unknown. That's what you're being asked to do. You'll be very, very good at daily work. And anything that like involves like so like any kind of job you can kind of do it. Being able to communicate like on a day-to-day basis is no problem for you. You can have one foot in the physical world, one foot in the spiritual world. Very much so. But ultimately, like, I think being of service to humanity is another thing that brings you nurturance, and that you might be like someone who's meant to be a leader in this kind of fight for light. But for you to really find your light, you have to first really feel the darkness. So Uranus is a very interesting planet for you because it's ruling your sun, and it's conjunct it lightly, different sign, but still. So that just makes you an alien. Like I have a good friend who is Aquarius sun conjunct Uranus, and she's an alien. Like I've given up on ever trying to understand her. And she's like a soul family. So like if I don't understand her, like fuck if anyone else does. And yeah, so like you are just a down like you are literally like a download machine, a witch, someone who's special and who needs to understand that about themselves because sometimes it can be really hard to see. But I'm telling you, you are. And like with the sixth house, yes, we'll talk about that. Yeah, so it's very favorable for like, doing like even having like a like communicating with your pets. I bet if you have pets, you talk to them and stuff. You could be like a pet psychic. Honestly, would be a random profession you could do. Um, so yeah, the more you tap into those powers, I think that it's great for you, and you'll really like work that stimulates your mind and that allows you to be kind of versatile and whatnot. I'll go back to my face. So yeah, but like it's better for someone who has a 10th house Saturn to not get married till after the return, because what happens is that then Saturn transits over that point, and a lot of people who get married who have Saturn in 7th house before 29 and a half ish, they either get divorced or have really, really tough 3 year period before, like from like I don't know, like 26 and a half, 29 and a half, around that time. So it's better to wait till after, which usually the energy forces that to happen anyways. So okay. So Palace, being conjunct, ninth house, really, really good for seeing the big picture, like your Jupiter in Sag does too. Really, really eager to teach your advanced knowledge, share your philosophies, um, and really good with Taurus to see the beauty in like the world around you, to see the beauty in nature and the arts. It's good for common sense and also healing with your hands. I keep seeing that, right? or like using like earth magic to kind of heal up. And then Vesta, at 28, Gem, it's like someone who's very dedicated to their career and very disciplined, and they can be very perfectionist, you know, and also like with Gemini, like really difficult, kind of sticking with one career kind of plan, and you can kind of switch it up. So it's good in a sense that you're versatile. But it's not good if it gets too wild and you're just like starting too many things, and yeah. Um, but like it makes you very good for networking, and just like really enjoying communicating at work. So yeah. Another thing about that Vesta and Gemini is that a lot of times it can make someone like avoid emotions, um and kind of favor the more intellectual kind of conversations. And it can make one a very committed writer. You could be a writer, as I said before, but like in Scorpio moon, it's very important for you to actually do the opposite, to talk about your emotions. But like with your Mercury and Aquarius, or Mercury and Aquarius, you'll really like to talk more about ideas and kind of Aquarius shit, which is not emotions at all. It's very aloof, but you have that side of you. So okay, when it comes together, it's like okay, the square between Sun and Moon. What's the relationship between Scorpio and Aquarius? Well, they're very fucking different. Okay, that's why they're square. That's why it's very hard. You feel like I've been doing therapy for a long time, and with my therapist, I'm always like my Pisces side and my Sag Leo side, and I always try to integrate them so I don't split. Right? Psychology also might be something very interesting to you, but basically for you, it's like really like the Aquarius side is the part that is more about ideas, more about humanity, it's more about doing things for the world, so forth. And that Scorpio side is the part that emotional need for that nurturance, for that depth, for that going beneath the surface, for the occult, esoteric, spirituality, all that stuff. Um, the real deep part of you that kind of fucking hates small talk, but then there's a part of you that can really handle it if you need to, right? So yeah. Um, then ascendant. Yeah, you need to definitely watch out for kind of going over the top with shit. And then also, yeah, ascendant squaring Pluto is tough because it can make one really sometimes hate, like be like, especially with Virgo ascendant, like you can be like almost like obsessive with your appearance potentially. And not people who have that can have a lot of trouble, except like they can like really think they're ugly and like really like um you know and they can really, it also speaks to just like violence and just trauma to the body and the self, and the need to heal from that, by not throwing it onto other people, but by really just like doing the healing work, right? But a lot of people sometimes can think like that they're undesirable and that they're ugly or something like that, but really it's another one of these aspects that when turned into a superpower can just be like a volcano in a good way. But a volcano needs grounding. Oh no, okay. Metaphoric volcano needs grounding. So that's a big key, is to find that. And I think that a work, for you to have work that gives you that is very important. And the home nest will be a place for you that's very harmonious. You need to have like a beautiful home environment, that you can really learn a lot, have lots of books, have lots of, even when you're traveling, you want to feel like at home. And you might move around a lot. You might be someone with who Moon Square Uranus, who like moves to all these different places looking for something, but really it's like it's internal. But still like moving's dope, so fuck it. But Jupiter, yeah, and then Jupiter, I already talked about it, like it's on Antares, so it's like in the fourth house, Jupiter fourth house people, they usually really like large homes, like high ceilings, and large families, um and like they really want to seek like the meaning of life, and like their higher truth from within their own home, so that they prefer to work at home if they could. But then with the sun, the sixth, yeah, a lot of your life purpose is around service, service and around your health, and around your daily routine, and around grounding yourself, so that you can, so you can have a routine that's that's allowing you to actually accentuate all these potential like super talents you have, right? Um, but like sixth house suns, a lot of times they really shine in their workplace, right? And they're very organized people. Um, so like any job that requires any kind of service to others is like very, very good and helps with a lot of the tough karma when you're helping other people. But you have to watch out for like taking on too much is maybe one of the last things I'll say, taking on too much of other people's shit because you can become drained very easily. So having alone time is very important for you. So you just kind of chill, because you can be drained easily. And you can suffer ill health at a young age. So that could be what's happening here is maybe you had a nice childhood, but maybe you just had like something fucked up that happened early on. Okay, I lost my hotspot there. Imagine needing a hotspot for every reading you do at your home or everything. Just this computer, it's fucked. But anyways, yeah, you like there's a link between your like how much you work, and your emotions or your health, your physical health. So, animals are very, very healing for you. So, like cats, especially Aquarius, they love cats. Um, cats are to me the best animal that exists, and I love dogs too, but they're too high maintenance, and for me at least, and they restrict freedom too much for me. But if I said this the other day, like if dogs were like cats in the sense of independence and low maintenance, I'd definitely have a little Chihuahua and maybe a golden. Only if they're so big. Mm. If I had a bigger spot, for sure. I have a big spot, but it's like for three cats, it's like it's like a mansion for them, but for two dogs, I feel bad. So if I had like a house, like if I had my dream home, which I'm gonna have multiple, but like just my dream like kind of home base, I definitely have like dogs, but I don't want to walk them, and like I don't know if I'll ever have a dog. Probably in my old years if I make it that far. I will make it that far. I'm just being a fucker. So yeah, that's very, very intense reading. Intense in the sense that I feel like I fucking killed this shit. Let's see what else. Okay, yeah. So Mars square midheaven. Ooh, so yeah, that's kind of like saying that your temper. Ooh, and Pluto opposite midheaven. Okay, so last things. Your temper can actually really affect you in a negative way in terms of your career. So, and also like the unresolved, like if there is unresolved energy, um, like from the childhood, the stuff we talked about the whole reading, if that's unresolved, it can really impact the heights that you can grow. So the more work you do, whether it's with your family or with your siblings or with like whatever like inner work you have to do, because in some cases you can't really work with people like if like let's say they're drunks or something like that. Just an example of past clients, like they're not able to like actually do the work like with the people. It's about doing inner work, like writing a letter to that person's highest self, the self. like my dad's dad, so my grandpa was a narcissist, and um I was telling my dad, I was like, you just have to imagine that your dad is literally like sick, like he's literally like you have to imagine him and have empathy for him and think about how his dad was and how his dad's dad was, and how that's just been passed on, so all right, let's just pop this. I've already highlighted like a lot of stars already just from my bare eyes, but let's see if I can see anything else. Look at you. So you have Urania on your moon. That is the fucking asteroid of astrology. So no excuses for you now, Missy. You have Urania on your moon. So, astrology, astronomy, study of the sky. It's on your fucking moon. So, you know, and you literally are so close to Regulus, you're 0.04 conjunction. Like that is like so close that you could legit be famous. I swear. Just you have to believe. But it could be like the fame in the 12th could be like, could be like government. I don't know. Or it could be something very hidden. Like Regulus usually doesn't like to hide. That's what's very interesting. It's like the known king. But then Antares, that you also have, is like the king of the underground or the queen of the underground. Okay. Blah 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 blah. Nothing, 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 nothing. Yeah. Black Lilith is right on the MC. That's crazy. Okay, 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 okay. Talked about this already. This. Mm-hmm. Oh, and you have union on your sun, so you'll have very karmic kind of unions. And then you have Altair on your sun. That's like one of like the big leadership, like another like god damn, like you have crazy stuff. Like that's like that's like the energy of someone who is meant to like be like a leader, right? That's another placement like that, right? So big props there. Big props there. Where the fuck is Where the fuck did my browser go? Oh, I never even opened a browser this whole reading. So I just opened the book once or something. And on my phone. Yeah, that's right. Um, yeah, so lots of boldness, confidence, public honor, and sometimes notoriety, favors from peers, many friends, um, and some envious ones who can cause trouble through writings. Okay. And then blah, blah, blah. And it says these people can be uncomfortable with themselves because of contradictory energies involved on the square moon. The contradictions, their continuous behavioral patterns. They do not wish to express themselves through the ego. These names wish to be humanistic human beings and wish to love everyone equally. They want to belong to groups and organizations that are involved in helping humanity, such as orphanages, the poor and deprived, and groups of organized to feed the hungry around the world, which is so Aquarius. This is the typical person who would join a group such as the Salvation Army, for example. Those financially able to do so would join groups in other parts of the world involved in these things. There's a problem here, however, that in that once they begin active participation in these groups, they wish to receive recognition for their work. The conflict in their behavior patterns manifest when they make demands that their ego be satisfied through praise and admiration from others. If their ego is not totally satisfied, they begin holding back their dedication to the humanitarian group they're involved in. The ego simply gets in the way. They turn their interest to the financial aspect of their work rather than the humanitarian. The humanistic approach to others is lost as their ego gets in the way. Their real objective is to receive praise from others for what they do. Um, and when they do not receive it, they become hostile, a strange turn of events which goes on for a lifetime. So that's a potential. Knowing about it can change it. Now, on that note, yeah, just creativity in general is just going to be like an amazing thing for you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, deep spiritual, like, um, energy. And yeah, just like sun moon, yeah, okay, midpoint is right in your Venus, so just like kind of how you want to, like, through your love and through your dedication to whatever craft you have, it's like that's where you kind of like whatever your outlet is, like that's where you really like meet your highest energy of healing the sun moon square and a lot of the stuff. And then lastly, the 0 degree Pluto, that's just kind of like, you're on a new a real like the start of, it's very, very karmic in the sense of like the beginning of a new karmic journey in relation to Pluto and Sagittarius, which is about like, higher learning and the soul evolving in a new level in that sense, right? um like and it can give like, yeah, very useful energy, so in the sense of like being a leader, so the whole power thing once again is very important, to not use that badly. Also, Bacchus is on the IC, so you got to watch out for you know like it's about altered states and wine and weed and all that kind of stuff. um yeah, so what's this? Nymph on Venus can make one a nympho. Like they're very, very sexual. Um, yeah, I said that already. And you can have you have angel on your or child on your Mercury. So you can express yourself in a very, the inner child can be expressed very, very smoothly. Um, it's very important for your whole chart reading, right? Um, mm, yeah, because child is about like inner innocence, right? That we like to usually keep hidden from the world, but yeah, the part that gets kind of frozen. So the fact that you have that means that you'll be able to actually, through your voice, express that inner child, potentially even the pain associated with it. So that's really good because it's important. Mm. So also Saturn conjunct Psyche, in your seventh house also it can be like karmic blocks and restrictions that kind of make it difficult for you to allow true love to really approach your or so it's blocks that can make it difficult for you to allow your true love to approach um like your identity. It's so hard to explain. It's like kind of like blocks that like kind of restrict you from allowing someone totally in, to, like totally see your psyche, your true you, right? Um, so it can be kind of like more of a self-sabotage. Um, yeah, that can kind of keep one from like until they really like are vulnerable from really experiencing that deepest love. That should be it. Yeah, that's it. So really amazing chart, so much energy. Holy shit, I'm vibing. And by the way, I have no idea what you look like. I purposely like don't even know what username you are on Instagram. I don't look at any photos. I just go carte blanche. Just this is, you know, literally just a name. You think I remember names? Waitlist is like, you know, it's what you booked this, in what, like November. So no, no chance. Um, Purposely didn't even like, when I purposely didn't even look at the username until after. So I'll get this sent to you. Actually, right now I'll send you a text. Let's see what the username is. Not gonna say it out loud. Cool username. Okay. Yeah, I feel really, really strong energy right now. There you are. Wait, is that you? I think that's you. Okay, I was confused. I was like, I found one Instagram. It was like, it didn't say you followed me. I was like, wait, what? And then I typed you in to text you. Okay. So I got you. Cool. Super volcanic reading. There's nothing I could have talked about more. Yeah, just, I guess part of fortune also in Sag is the last thing. Like you're at your flow state when you're learning and when you're expanding yourself, and when you have done, when you have that real groundedness within yourself, within your home, but then you're able to just like do your thing, through that, like kind of like that image I got of you, like in your really comfortable place, um having done all that inner work and transform yourself and ground yourself, and then from that very stable place, like physically and metaphorically, it just expands. So you bow. That was definitely one of my best readings in a while. Anyways, that'd be funny if I look, not funny, it'd be fucking horrible if I looked and said not recording. Anyways, thank you so much. Let me know about the follow, the adding the other ones to the follow up, and talk to you later. Peace.